Have you ever wondered why loss hurts so much? It's a question that has echoed in the minds of countless individuals throughout history. The pain of losing someone we love is something we all experience, regardless of who we are or where we come from. It's a universal experience, a natural response to loss. Grief is not a sign of weakness nor a condition to be cured. It's a testament to the depth of our love, a reflection of the bonds we forge. It's the price we pay for love, the sorrow that comes with the joy. And that's why it hurts. But why is understanding this so important? Because understanding our grief allows us to navigate the turbulent waters of loss. It gives us the tools to cope, to heal, and ultimately, to move forward. Understanding grief is the first step towards acceptance. Welcome to our channel dedicated to death and the law. Grief, as you may know, is not a linear process. It's a winding road looping back on itself, full of detours and unexpected turns. It's as unique as the individual experiencing it, yet there are common signposts along the way. These signposts are what we call the 5 stages of grief. The first stage is denial. It's the mind's initial defense against the shock of loss. Imagine a wife sitting alone at the dinner table, setting 2 plates out of habit. It's the disbelief, the thought that this can't be happening. Next comes anger. This is the stage where the pain of loss begins to surface, often manifesting as a burning rage. Picture a man learning of his best friend's sudden passing, punching a wall in a fit of frustration. Why him? Why now? He might question. The third stage, bargaining, is a desperate attempt to regain control, to avoid the reality of the situation. It's a mother, kneeling at her daughter's grave, pleading with the universe, "I'd give anything to have her back." Following bargaining, we have depression. This is a stage of intense sorrow and despair. It's the quiet crying of a widower in the middle of the night, missing the warmth of his partner next to him. It's not a sign of mental illness, but a natural response to a great loss. Last but certainly not least, we come to acceptance. Now let's clear a common misconception here. Acceptance doesn't mean being okay with the loss. It's not a finish line where everything suddenly becomes fine. It's more about coming to terms with the reality of the situation. It's a father, after losing his son, returning to his son's favorite park, not to mourn, but to remember the joy they shared there. Grief is not a staircase that we climb methodically, one stage after another. It's more like a roller coaster, full of ups and downs, twists and turns. You might find yourself in the throes of anger one moment, only to slip into a period of denial the next. You might even experience multiple stages at once, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong way to grieve. Also, remember that not everyone will go through all these stages, or in this order. Some might skip stages entirely, while others might linger in one stage for a long time. It's a deeply personal journey, shaped by a multitude of factors including personality, coping style, and the nature of the loss itself. Acceptance, the final stage, is not about forgetting, but about finding a way to live with the loss. It's about carrying the memory of the loved one forward, not as a burden of loss, but as a legacy of love. It's about finding peace, not in the absence of pain, but in its presence. And most importantly, it's about understanding that even in grief, life goes on. So we've reached acceptance, but what does that really mean? When we talk about acceptance in the context of grief, it's not about reaching a point where you're totally okay with what happened. It's not about forgetting or moving on. Instead, acceptance is about acknowledging the reality of your loss and learning to live with it. This is a crucial distinction to understand. Acceptance is not a destination you arrive at after a linear journey. It's not like you'll go through denial, anger, bargaining, and depression, then poof, you're in acceptance. That's not how it works. Grief is not a straight line. It's more like a roller coaster. You might have days where you feel you've accepted your loss, and then there are days when you find yourself back in anger or denial. That's perfectly normal. It's part of the process. You see, grief is a deeply personal and individual experience. It's as unique as the person going through it. Your journey to acceptance will look different from someone else's, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong way to grieve. There's no timeline. Some people might reach a state of acceptance sooner than others. For some, it might take years. It's important to allow yourself the space and time to heal in your own way. And remember, acceptance doesn't mean you have to be okay with your loss. It's about learning to live with it. It's about finding a way to honor your loved one's memory while continuing to live your life. In essence, acceptance is about finding a new normal. It's about learning to live a life that's been irrevocably changed by loss. It's a process. It's a journey. And on this journey, it's okay to feel. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to not be okay, because that's what acceptance is all about. It's not about being okay with the loss. It's about being okay with not being okay. Acceptance is a personal and ongoing journey, unique to each individual. No one should walk the path of grief alone. This truth resonates with us all, especially when we are faced with the overwhelming reality of losing a loved one. It's during these challenging times that the power of support becomes evident. Support can come in various forms, and it's important to recognize that there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to grieving. For some, the comforting presence of family and friends, their understanding silence, or their shared tears can provide a sense of solace. These individuals remind us that it's okay to grieve, to feel, and to express our emotions openly. They offer a shoulder to lean on, a listening ear, and a loving heart to help bear the weight of our loss. For others, the strength to navigate the grief journey might be found in support groups. Here, you'll find individuals who, like you, are grappling with loss. There's a unique comfort in knowing that you're not alone in your feelings of sorrow and confusion. Sharing experiences with others who are in the same boat can provide a sense of community and understanding that is profoundly therapeutic. And then there's professional help. Therapists, counselors, and grief coaches are trained to guide individuals through the complex maze of emotions that accompany loss. They offer strategies and tools to help manage grief, promoting healthy coping mechanisms that assist in the healing process. Their expertise can be invaluable in times of profound sadness and confusion. Remember, expressing grief is not a sign of weakness. It's a testament to the love we have for those we've lost. Sharing our feelings with others allows us to validate our emotions, to acknowledge our pain, and ultimately, to begin the healing process. Whether it's with a close friend over a cup of coffee, in a support group meeting, or in the safe space of a therapist's office, don't shy away from seeking and accepting help. Support and understanding from others can be a powerful tool in the journey towards acceptance. Let's revisit what we've uncovered today. We started by acknowledging the inevitable question of mortality, a thought that can be intimidating, yet is a universal part of our human experience. We then delved into the 5 stages of grief, a model introduced by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, which outlines the emotional journey many of us embark on when faced with loss. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. These stages are not a rigid framework, but rather a guide to understanding our feelings. However, we emphasize that acceptance isn't linear. It's not a finish line that once crossed means we're done with grief. It's a continual process, sometimes a loop, where we might revisit feelings of anger or depression even after we've reached a level of acceptance. This isn't a step back, but rather a testament to the complex nature of human emotions and our individual ways of coping with loss. We also highlighted the power of support. Whether it's from friends, family, or professional counselors, having a support system around us can help navigate the choppy waters of grief. It's important to remember that reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness, but rather a strength. It signifies our willingness to heal and grow, even amidst the most challenging times. Throughout our discussion, we reiterated that grief is a normal and personal process. There's no right or wrong way to grieve, and there's no set timeline for when you should get over your loss. Each person's journey with grief is unique, and it's crucial to respect that individuality. Remember, it's okay to grieve, it's okay to seek help, and most importantly, it's okay to accept at your own pace. Acceptance isn't an end to grief, but a means of learning to live with it. It's about finding peace amidst the pain and allowing ourselves to cherish the memories of our loved ones, even as we forge ahead into the future. It's a testament to our resilience, our capacity to love, and our ability to grow from our experiences. As a legal help channel, Attorney Jimmy's goal is to bring diverse perspectives to our discussions. If you have legal concerns, you can find our link in the description and contact us for a completely free consultation at 1-800-450-50. With over a decade of legal experience, call anytime, day or night, 7 days a week, 24/7. wrongfuldeathcenter.com.